Okay, let's go over the answers to homework 5. So I'll go slow and see if we can't get all these right. So it says first graph it on the complex plane and then find the absolute value. So remember, we have A equals 3 and B equals -2. So 3, -2 is what I would graph. And then that would be this point right here. And the absolute value is the square root of a squared plus b squared, which is square root of 9 plus 4, or the square root of 13. So there's the absolute value of that complex number. All right, next one, I would have a -5, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the point right there. And the absolute value would be the square root of 25 plus 16, or the square root of 41. Okay. Next one, it's a 0 minus 6i if you were write out the a part. So it would be 0 and -6. So this point right down here. And the absolute value would be the square root of 0 plus 36, or 6. All right, let's keep going. Now, we're supposed to write each number in polar form and then graph it on the polar grid. So it's a complex number, and I have to write it in polar form. So remember, we need r and we need theta. And so r is going to be the absolute value of the complex number. So that's the square root of 4 plus 4, which equals the square root of 8, which is 2 square root of 2. And so we have theta is the inverse tangent, of y over x. So that would be 2, or I should say, I'm saying y over x. It should be b over a if we're using what we did before. So 2 over -2. So theta is the inverse tan of -1. This is in quadrant 2. So tangent is -1 in quadrant 2 at 3 pi over 4, right? So theta equals 3 pi over 4. So the complex in the polar form would be 2 square root of 2, z equals 2 square root of 2, cosine 3 pi over 4 plus I sine 3 pi over 4. Well, I was supposed to write that down there. So let me write it again. 2 square root of 2 times the cosine of 3 pi over 4 plus I sine of 3 pi over 4. Guess you don't need those parentheses, but I stuck them in there. Now, this whole thing goes like that. That is such a mess. I can't deal. I just can't. All right, let's do it better. 2 square root of 2 times this whole thing, cosine 3 pi over 4 plus I sine 3 pi over 4. There, that looks much better. Now, we have to graph the polar point, which is r theta, so that's 2 square root of 2 and 3 pi over 4. So 2 square root of 2, let's see, that would be about 2.8. So we're looking at 3 pi over 4, which is right here, and 2.8. So this is 3, so a little bit before. If this ring is 2, then 3.8 would be about there. So we'll label that 2 square root of 2, comma, 3 pi over 4. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to number, well, I'll stop the video and do the next problems on the next one.